Hello everyone, and welcome back to our channel. Today, we're diving into a pivotal chapter of World War II, the island-hopping campaigns in the Pacific. This wasn't just one single event, but a series of intense, strategic, and often brutal confrontations between two global powers, the Empire of Japan and the United States. We'll explore how these invasions shaped the course of the war and left a lasting impact on the world. So, grab a seat, and let's get started. To really understand the Pacific War, we need to rewind to December 7, 1941. The surprise attack on Pearl Harbor was a massive shock, but it was just the beginning of Japan's ambitious expansion across Southeast Asia and the Pacific. In a stunningly short period, Japanese forces captured territories like the Philippines, Guam, Wake Island, Singapore, and the Dutch East Indies. Their strategy was to create a vast defensive perimeter, the Greater East Asia Co-Prosperity Sphere, rich in resources like oil and rubber, which were crucial for their war effort. They believed this formidable barrier would make it too costly for the Allies, primarily the United States, to fight back. For a while, it seemed like their plan was working flawlessly. The speed and success of their initial campaigns were breathtaking. But the tide began to turn. The Battle of the Coral Sea in May 1942, while a tactical draw, was a strategic victory for the Allies as it halted the Japanese advance towards Australia. Then came the game changer, the Battle of Midway in June 1942. In a decisive blow, the U.S. Navy sank four of Japan's frontline aircraft carriers. This victory was monumental. It crippled Japan's naval aviation, the very spearhead of its offensive power, and shifted the strategic initiative to the United States. From this point forward, the U.S. wasn't just defending, it was preparing to go on the offensive. The path was now open for America's own campaign of invasion, a strategy that would come to be known as island hopping. So, what exactly was island hopping? Imagine the Pacific Ocean as a giant chessboard dotted with thousands of islands. Instead of trying to capture every single one, which would have been incredibly time-consuming and costly, the U.S. adopted a more clever approach. Planners, led by figures like Admiral Chester Nimitz and General Douglas MacArthur, decided to bypass heavily fortified Japanese strongholds. Instead, they would focus on capturing strategically important but less defended islands. These captured islands would then serve as forward bases, complete with airfields and supply depots, to support the next hop closer and closer to the Japanese mainland. It was a brilliant and brutal strategy of leapfrogging across the vast ocean, isolating Japanese garrisons and cutting their supply lines, leaving them to wither on the vine. The first major test of this island-hopping strategy came at Guadalcanal in the Solomon Islands, starting in August 1942. What was planned as a relatively quick operation turned into a grueling 6-month campaign of attrition on land, at sea, and in the air. Both sides poured in resources. And the fighting was ferocious. U.S. Marines faced not only a determined enemy but also dense jungles, tropical diseases, and constant supply shortages. The eventual American victory at Guadalcanal was a hard-won lesson. It proved that the island-hopping concept could work, but it also revealed the incredible tenacity of the Japanese soldier, who would defend their positions with fierce determination, often to the last man. This experience set a grim precedent for the battles to come. As the American war machine gained momentum, the island-hopping campaign accelerated. The Central Pacific Drive under Admiral Nimitz saw a series of bloody battles. At Tarawa in November 1943, the Marines faced entrenched defenders on a tiny atoll. The pre-invasion naval bombardment proved less effective than hoped, and the casualties were staggering. The lessons learned at Tarawa, however, led to improvements in amphibious assault tactics, intelligence gathering, and naval gunfire support. This was followed by the invasions of the Marshall Islands and the Mariana Islands. The capture of Saipan, Tinian, and Guam in mid-1944 was a major strategic victory. These islands were close enough for the new long-range B-29 Super Fortress bombers to begin launching direct air raids against the Japanese home islands, bringing the war to Japan's doorstep in a devastating new way. Meanwhile, in the Southwest Pacific, General MacArthur was leading his own parallel campaign. Famously vowing "I shall return" after being forced to leave the Philippines in 1942, MacArthur's drive was a personal and national mission. His forces fought their way up the massive island of New Guinea in a series of punishing jungle campaigns. This was a different kind of war, a slow, grinding fight against a well-dug-in enemy and a hostile natural environment. The culmination of his efforts was the Battle of Leyte Gulf in October 1944, the largest naval battle in history. The U.S. victory was overwhelming, effectively destroying the remaining operational strength of the Imperial Japanese Navy and paving the way for MacArthur to make his dramatic return to the Philippines, fulfilling his promise. As American forces closed in on Japan, the fighting grew even more intense. The Japanese military, recognizing the desperate situation, implemented a defense-in-depth strategy and increasingly relied on tactics born of desperation. The invasions of Iwo Jima and Okinawa in early 1945 were among the deadliest battles of the entire war. Iwo Jima, a tiny volcanic island, was needed for its airfields to provide fighter escorts for the B-29s. The Japanese had turned the island into a massive underground fortress of tunnels and bunkers. The U.S. Marines who landed there faced a nightmarish fight, and the iconic image of the flag raising on Mount Suribachi symbolized both the immense cost and the unbreakable spirit of the American forces. Then came Okinawa. Located just 340 miles from mainland Japan, it was the final stepping stone. The battle, which lasted for 82 days, was horrific. The Japanese defenders fought with incredible ferocity, and for the first time, large numbers of civilians were caught in the crossfire, leading to a tragic loss of life. On the seas, kamikaze attacks, where pilots would deliberately crash their planes into U.S. ships, inflicted heavy casualties on the Navy. The sheer brutality of the Battle of Okinawa had a profound impact on American military planners. The staggering casualty figures from both Iwo Jima and Okinawa were used to project the potential cost of invading the Japanese home islands, an operation codenamed Operation Downfall. The estimates were astronomical, predicting millions of casualties on both sides. These projections from Okinawa and Iwo Jima played a critical role in one of the most controversial decisions in history, the use of atomic bombs. Faced with the prospect of a cataclysmic invasion of the mainland, President Harry Truman made the decision to deploy this new, terrible weapon in the hopes of forcing a swift surrender and avoiding an even greater loss of life. On August 6 and 9, 1945, atomic bombs were dropped on Hiroshima and Nagasaki. The devastation was unprecedented. Faced with this new reality and a Soviet invasion of Manchuria, Emperor Hirohito intervened, and on August 15, Japan announced its surrender, officially ending World War II. Looking back, the story of the Japanese and American invasions in the Pacific is a complex tale of strategy, sacrifice, and immense human cost. Japan's initial, rapid expansion was a masterclass in military planning, but it ultimately overextended its resources. The American island-hopping campaign, in turn, was a brilliant strategic response that systematically dismantled the Japanese empire, island by island. Each battle, from Guadalcanal to Okinawa, was a stepping stone that brought the Allies closer to victory, but at a price that is difficult to comprehend even today. It is a powerful reminder of the scale of the conflict and the courage of the generation that fought it. Thank you so much for joining us on this deep dive into the Pacific War. It's a vast and important topic, and we've only scratched the surface. If you found this video informative, please give it a thumbs up and consider subscribing to our channel for more historical content. We'd love to hear your thoughts in the comments below. Thanks again for watching, and we'll see you in the next video.